Yeah. Hey, John. Thanks very much for your time today. So, as I mentioned in the email, the purpose for today's session is to talk about the presentation to Jones Meyer yesterday.
Yeah.
I noticed during the presentation you seemed a little bit unsure of yourself and you made a few sort of kind of very simple errors. And I'm a bit concerned that it sort of impacted sort of the impression that we left on Jones Myers. So what I wanted to do today is I sort of wanted to run through that presentation and sort of get an understanding for sort of what happened. And then sort of figure out what can we do moving forward to make sure that, when we do have these presentations, we really, really nail them.
Mm-hmm.
Is that okay with you?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, so run us back. So run through the presentation yesterday. What was sort of the thought process behind the presentation?
To be honest, the presentation yesterday felt different than usual. I was not in the same mood or spot as I'm normally. And to be honest, I came very tired and I also felt bad afterwards. So I'm happy that you pick up on that quite quickly.
Is everything okay?
Yeah, at home the last few days have been really crazy because one of the kids got high fever. We were not sure if it's dengue, so it's just being checked today. So it looks good, but it just was not a lot of sleep, and that impacted my performance because I've also been very busy. So yeah.
Okay, well, I'm sorry to hear about that. In terms of the presentation itself, I mean, what do you think was the reason? I mean, you obviously had a lot on your plate.
Mm-hmm.
What else sort of led to this?
A few things coming up. So I was not on top of my product. I mixed up pricing, which all has to do with my concentration and really being in the meeting. So something was not right. Normally I know my PowerPoints inside out, my pitch.
Yeah.
Yesterday it was like half there and half outside the room. So that was one thing. And I think I didn't take the time to just remind myself about how cool the product is and the pricing that we were pitching in the meeting because I ran out of time.
Yeah, look, I mean, I know this is not your usual sort of presentation, and usually you do a fantastic job. So thank you for sort of letting me know that you had a lot on your plate. If, it sounds like you're obviously very busy and, that sort of impacted everything. What do you think was sort of the impact on Jones Meyer? How do you think when we left that meeting, what sort of impression did we leave on them?
I think the second part of the meeting felt like they were not really listening to me anymore, and I'm sure it had some damage on our reputation and my reputation, so clearly not acceptable.
Okay, so what do you think we need to do about it?
I don't know. So I would say two things coming to my mind. A, I really want to apologize and send them a short note. And then really for the follow-up meeting, really I get my stuff in order, to really improve my presentation. I would say muscle. I can present, but I have to get back into the rhythm, knowing my pitch, knowing the pricing, and showing the passion, So I really have to go back, train, and improve my skill, because I lost it during the circuit breaker a little bit.
So what sort of things do you need to do to sort of build back that muscle and to build back that skill?
I think two things. A, dedicate time. And number two, I remember early days when I joined the team, you offered me to do some drills and come in, John, sell to me. It was really fun. It was so much fun. And I really took away 2 or 3 things from every kind of dry run we did there. And we really had some fun and laugh. I would love to do that again. And it can be with you or somebody from the team, but that would be great.
Okay, so the role plays. Tell me more about the first point.
So I just think we are all super busy, and I just need to be more planful of my time and dedicate time up front. And if I feel I'm not in the right space or I might struggle for an upcoming presentation, raise my hand. So I would love to really be much harder on myself and not just say, it will be okay, because clearly it was not okay. So plan time. Ask for help if needed from the team to say, hey, can you just listen to what I'm planning to do? So taking that time up front would clearly be a huge thing to improve the quality of the meetings.
If you had taken that time up front for the Jones Mind meeting, what do you think would have been the outcome?
No doubt the customer would have been present until the end of the meeting, and with quite high confidence, I would say they would have signed the deal in the room.
Okay. Okay.
So
So going forward, what do we need to do? What do we need to put in place to make sure this doesn't happen again?
I would just love that kind of, because normally we have that in the team that we can raise our hand and say, I'm in trouble, I need help, I need
Yep.
time. So that would be one thing and be okay with that. So number two, use some of our time in the team meeting, if you don't mind, just to share these kind of examples and say, this
Okay.
is what happened
All right.
and who can help here. We have a great team, and I love to tap into the knowledge and the experience in the team to help me become even better with this. So if we could do that like a regular thing, and maybe brown bag session, yeah, now and then once a week would be fantastic.
And how do you feel about sort of sharing the experience and what happened?
You know, I'm a very open and honest person. I have no issue going in and being vulnerable and just say, here is how crappy I feel. Sorry for the wording here, but I think we all fail, and it's important to share fast, and it might have happened to other people in the room, so they may get encouraged to raise their hand. So I'm totally okay with that.
Okay. So what I'm hearing from you at the moment is let's try and create that environment within the team where we can raise our hand and say, I'm not up to this right now, right?
Yes.
That sort of space. Two, to have some more sharing sessions where we actually share about some of our presentations, what worked, what didn't, and use them as learning experiences,
Yes.
right? And three was this piece about planning and actually putting a bit more time into the planning. Besides that, is there anything else you think we need to sort of implement?
I think that would be a great start.
Okay. And you mentioned earlier about the role plays that we used to do. How do you see those role plays helping you going forward?
I think in any aspect of the skills we need in our jobs, it would be good to have regular role play to practice before, and just because I feel sometimes I come in with great ideas, but then based on your feedback, great ideas gets even better. And it's a very nice dynamic how we learn together, and for me it's fun learning. So it's something I like to learn, yeah. And if it's fun and we can make great ideas fantastic, I love that.
So you've got some really good ideas there. In terms of the amount of presentations you have coming up, what's sort of the next key presentation you have, and what specifically do we need to do for that?
Yeah, so we have Peter Sanders coming up in, I think it's the end of next week. So
okay.
I will absolutely, after this meeting, and thank you for being so open, go back and look at my calendar and make sure I have enough time to prepare. I commit to clearly do a dry run with a team member, and I would love to get time on your calendar just to go through my pitch for that meeting, so we do well in that meeting.
Okay, so let's do that. You prepare for it. Tell me how much time you need, right? And I'll make the time available, and then we can go through and do a dry run, and we can give you some feedback on what you do.
Yes, absolutely. I will do that.
Thanks very much, John.
Yeah, thank you.
Cheers.
Appreciate it.